So here we have this VEVOR snowmaking machine. Now, full disclosure, this is a paid review, but the opinions in this video are my own. Alright, so this machine's pretty cool, but it does have a little bit of an issue, so let's go ahead and unbox it, and then I'll give you a closer look at it. It came packaged pretty well in this small cardboard box. It has foam on each side, as well as it's also in a plastic bag. And right out of the box, here's what it looks like. All you have to do is attach this mounting bracket. It also comes with about a 4-foot long extension cord, a plastic handle for easily moving it around. It's pretty light, weighs about 7 pounds. Then there's this bracket that has 3 holes in it, and you can use that to mount it to like the underside of a roof or something. That's pretty helpful if you want to make the snow come from the sky. And then on the back side, there's this hose that feeds out from this tank. And of course, this is where you're going to put the snow fluid. And then on the back, there's this slit cut out so you can see the water level. Then there's a socket for the power cord, a switch to turn it on and off. And on the top is a knob to increase or decrease the size of the snowflakes. And this little remote here also lets you turn it on or off or change the size of the flakes. Anyway, this looks like it should be pretty simple to use, so I'm going to go ahead and fill it up and then we can test it out. Alright, so snow fluid is pretty expensive, so I just made some homemade stuff and filled this up with that. It's not going to look exactly the same, it is a bit more foamy, but it'll give you a pretty good idea of what it looks like. Anyway, it's pretty simple to use. Just press this to turn it on, and then press the square button on the remote and you can hear it start up. And then to make it start blowing out snow, you got to press the up arrow a few times and it'll start blowing it out. This thing works pretty well. It definitely blows out a lot of snow, and it blows it out about 6 to 10 feet without any wind. It definitely helps if it's windy though, to help it travel a bit further, and it also works a lot better the higher you mount it. And here's a little bit of a better look at that. It's mounted about 8 to 9 foot off the ground. It is a little bit difficult to see here because I have real snow that's on the ground, but it's blowing out quite a bit, and the fake snow looks pretty cool when it's floating down. It looks semi-realistic, but you can see when it starts to build up on my hand, you can definitely tell that it's fake. It just looks like I grabbed a handful of foam. The further away from the machine you go, the better it'll look because it's more spread out. You can see it doesn't quite catch as much on my hand, and this stuff is perfectly safe to touch, but I wouldn't eat it because it is just foam. Also, in case you were wondering, if you fill the tank up, it'll last for about 10 to 15 minutes. And it actually covers a pretty wide area on the ground. Again, it's hard to see here because I already have real snow, but it is covering the ground pretty well. But anyway, there are a couple things that you really need to know about this. And first is that since it's basically just spraying out foam, pretty similar to what you'd see when you're washing dishes with soap, it will start to make the ground a little slippery when it starts to cover. It's also surprisingly loud. I had to turn the volume down quite a bit for this video. Here I'll kind of show you what it sounds like for a couple seconds. It just sounds like a loud and more high-pitched vacuum cleaner. But anyway, as long as you don't mind the noise and realize that the snow is really just foam, then this machine actually works really well. It shoots it really far, puts out a lot of snow. It'll work just fine in hotter areas as well. It's also pretty cheap. You'll probably spend more money on snow fluid than you will on the actual machine. And overall, I'd say it's a great buy if that's what you're looking for.